Hello and welcome to this month's IRQTC Training Tips newsletter. I'm Brian Traskos, the founder and director for the Institute of Rehabilitative Qigong and Tai Chi. This month we're going to talk about the forgotten basket. We like to say that Qigong actually has 4 baskets of practice. We have movement, meditation, breathing, and self-massage. Many times when we see people practicing Tai Chi or Qigong, we see that they're moving, we see that they're breathing, and they're obviously in a meditative state. And when we practice those things, we notice all that as well. But there's that 4th basket, which is self-massage. And it has earned its right next to the other 3 baskets. It just sometimes gets left out of that program a little bit. And it's so important, if for no other reason than touch or the skin. When we do any massage, remember we go right through the skin. We got to get through the skin to get into anything else. That the skin is the same embryological layer as the brain. Remember, they're both arisen from the ectoderm. So just embryologically and neuroconnected-wise, we might say that the skin is actually the outer covering for the brain. So touch is a highway right into the brain processes, and we want to recall that. Now, self-massage can be kneading, pressing, stroking, rubbing, pinching, pulling, and my favorite one is tapping. When I was thinking about what I wanted to present today for our monthly Training Tips newsletter, I had a couple of ideas. And something happened yesterday that made me decide tapping is definitely what we want to talk about this month. So I had a woman came into my clinic yesterday, and her boyfriend was in the car. And he was in so much back pain he couldn't get out of the car. He hurt himself in a field someplace. They got him into the back of the car, put the seats down, and I went out into the parking lot, and he's laying down in the car, and he can't move. And so I get into the back seat of the car with him, and I start to talk him through the first aid for backs process. If anybody is familiar with the first aid for backs process, that's basically what we do. We start with those 3 steps, okay? And we start to work through that a little bit, get him breathing better, get him feeling safer, that yellow zone movement. Next, we get to a point in the program where we have what we call spontaneous movement. And this is a part of the program where I like to bring up with people that when you're moving spontaneously, very often something in your emotional construct will rise to the surface. And we start to talk about the psycho-emotional construct of pain. Now, I believe all pain has a psycho-emotional component and construct, but especially back pain has a certain special issues that occur with back pain that are really important and prevalent in those types of cases. So I just mentioned to him, just notice what comes up, if anything comes up emotionally for you while we're in the spontaneous movement portion. And while I'm mentioning this to him, he starts to cry, he starts to tear up, but he's fighting it. He's holding it back. And I mentioned again to him, that when we repress or hold down an emotional expression, that lots of times causes more pain, more restriction, more problems in the system. And it's really important to let those things flow. So we started tapping. We started doing tapping around his chest points, tapping around his collarbone points, his lungs, down into the solar plexus, and then he really started to have an emotional catharsis. So I kept tapping for him as he was continuing to move spontaneously. I continue tapping for him. He just begins to cry, and he says, I don't know why I'm crying. Nothing is coming to mind. I just feel like I need to cry. I said, go ahead and do that. You're safe. Go ahead. So we're tapping him, and every time he would start to choke down again. We'd start tapping again to start to reactivate that process. He starts to, again, release a little bit more, and I guide him through our Eliminate Pain program process. And long story short, in about 20 minutes, about 25 minutes, he is almost completely free of pain, 95% better, his breathing much more easily. I look in his eyes are clear and open and connected, and he's so grateful, although he's kind of bewildered by the experience he just had, but his pain is basically gone. Now, I see this quite routinely in my practice with people because we know how to guide folks through this process. But what we want to talk about is just that tapping, that ability to tap and touch the body begins to activate systems in the body that have been research proven to really help tremendously. PTSD, anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and physical pain. Now, that's one way I would use it with the client that I mentioned to you. But another way that we might use this with clients is something like this. This is the typical pattern of use with the tapping program. And you can look at Gary Craig's work or Nick Ortner's work. They do a lot of stuff with tapping. But this is the basic process. We identify the problem and we acknowledge that we accept ourselves even though we're having that problem. Okay, that's part one. Part two is we do some tapping on what we call the gamut point and do some eye movements and some humming and some counting in order to begin opening up part of the brain construct, tap deeper into the parts of the brain that we have these habituated fear patterns in. And then part three is we put into a repattern program what we desire. So this is kind of I'll give you the quick rundown of how this may work in one instance. Of course, with all our clients, we vary these things based on their issues and problems. So let's look at back pain for a second. What we might do first, and we're gonna go through this really fast, by the way. You might slow this down when you do it yourself first, and then share it with your clients as well. Go to your karate chop point, and you tap on that. And if we had back pain, we may say something like, even though my back is killing me right now, I choose to accept myself anyway. Even though my back is killing me right now, I choose to accept myself anyway. Even though my back is killing me right now, I choose to accept myself anyway. After we've done our setup, tapping on the top of the head, even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. Over the eyes, even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. Temples, even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. Under the eyes, the same statement. Top lip, same statement. Chin, same statement. Collarbone, same statement. Even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself anyway. Under the arms down here on the torso, even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. Do we get heart point? Make sure we get the heart point. Even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. Wrist points, even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. And karate chop points, even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself completely. Now you'd obviously go through that more slowly and with more emphasis on accepting yourself for whatever you have going on. We may go through one more time, and this time describing what the problem is so we really kind of get it worked up. We really bring it to the surface because that's the best time to reprogram the system when the fear or problem or pain is exposed. So my back is really bothering me right now. It really feels like my back is just in a vice. It feels so tight. I feel like I'm being squeezed. I feel so helpless when I'm squeezed like this. I feel so useless. I feel like I can't do any work. I can't be of any good to anybody when my back is this tight. And we're just describing what's happening in our experience, that's all, as we do our tapping. And sometimes you need to guide people through that process, but we encourage them just to be as honest as they can. My back is really bothering me. It's really killing me. It feels so tight. I feel like I'm being squeezed in my core. I feel so useless when it gets like this. It really bothers me. I feel like I can't take care of my family. I feel like I can't take care of my kids. We go right through those points again, all the way to the top. Now, after we've kind of gone through that and wound up the problem a little bit, we go to the back of the hand and tap on what's called the gamut point right here, okay? And while we're doing that, we repeat the statement again, but this time looking back and forth with our eyes 3 times. Even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself. We look up and down 3 times. Even though my back is killing me, I choose to accept myself. We do our eyes in circles 3 times, repeating the statement. And then we tapping and we hum happy birthday. And then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hum again. Take a deep breath. And then we go back to our points and we say what we do want. I'm ready to feel more relaxed. I'm ready to feel free. I'm ready to feel more fluid in my body. I'm ready to feel more confident about my body and my back. I'm ready to feel more alive and energized. I'm ready to feel more engaged in my life and with my body. I'm ready to feel safe in my body. I'm ready to feel comfortable in my body. I'm ready to feel free and fluid and alive. I'm ready to feel energized in my belly and in my spine. And we just tap through all these points again, bringing to the surface now the outcome that we'd really like to have in our lives. We just kind of keep tapping through. I want to feel free. I'm ready to feel free. I'm ready to feel free. I'm ready to feel alive. I'm ready to feel safe. I'm ready for my spine to be fluid. And so you can see we're starting to retrain the system, the neural patterns, with what we desire. After that, come back to the gamut point and do that same process, moving your eyes back and forth. I'm ready to feel free and alive, up and down. I'm ready to feel energized, and circles. I'm ready to feel, you name it, whatever you want to feel, there. Okay, then we hum happy birthday. We count to 10. We hum happy birthday again. We take a deep breath and reassess and see how you feel. We can also do a scoring system on a scale of 1 to 10 before tapping. How do you feel? And then after tapping, how do you feel too? So that's just a typical EFT process, emotional freeing technique process. And in our trainings, the upcoming fundamentals program training and our live trainings, we go deeper into that fourth basket of practice and tapping and some other methods as well. Thank you so much for joining me again this month for our IRQTC newsletter. Please keep the questions coming, and thank you for being so engaged with helping us to get healthcare back in a place where it feels human again. Bye-bye.